Hey everybody, Tony Fan here with CompetitionX, and we have a new product from Tekno on the bench today. This is the MT410 2.0 Monster Truck. So this MT shares a lot of the same features as the short course truck. The chassis, the differentials, the one-piece motor mount, and those awesome 13mm big bore shocks. This truck also accepts a 2, 3, or 4S LiPo battery. You know what we're going to be using. So we're going to get this truck over to the workbench. We're going to unbox it and show you everything that comes in this kit. Let's do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. The Tekno MT410 2.0. Now, this is a 1/10 scale monster truck. It is based on the new SCT 410 2.0, so you're probably going to see a lot of the same parts that we saw in that kit. Long wear chassis, fluid-filled diffs, hybrid hinge pin blocks, one-piece motor mount, 13mm big bore shocks, monster shock towers, and of course it'll accept 2, 3, or 4S LiPos, and then all the other stuff here. And then the tools, they do have a list on the back, the tools you're going to need. Let me see if I can get the reflection off there. 2-channel radio, body, paint, motor system, steering, servo, battery, MT tires with 12mm hex. That's key 12mm hex. Pinion, and then of course all the tools you're going to need. Okay? All right. Let's crack this box open. See what's inside. Maybe I should cut the tape first. Let's cut the tape first. All right. And then, voila! Yeah, if you've seen Tekno's boxes before, you know they have a nice outer box that's kind of a sleeve to kind of show you all the information. But there it is. Okay, so we're going to move the box off of the table. And then, like as we normally do, go through each bag individually, starting with this one here. So the first bag is obviously the fluid. It's got your thread lock, black grease, 100,000 weight, 50,000 weight, that's probably for the diffs, and then 600 and 700 for the shocks. And they give you a lot of extra as well, so you can rebuild the diffs and shocks quite a few times. So there you go. We'll start with this bag since it has bag A in it. Hit the camera. Okay, so I'm going to move these. We got E, F, G, H, A, B, C, D. All right. Starting with bag A. If you saw our SCT 410 2.0, these are all going to look pretty similar. So bag A has the center diff. It's a Mod 1 pitch gear, fluid filled, all your steel internal hardware, and then bearings, of course, outdrive, and then this looks like the small little rear drive shaft. Kind of replaces the output gear, the output shaft here. It's a gear. And then, of course, your other parts for the diff. All right, so bag B is going to be more of the same. These are the front and rear differentials. So these are steel, nice big steel parts here. Diff halves, nice little ribbing on there, that's cool, nice. More internal steel parts. These are sun gears and the satellite gears. The outdrives. The pins, O-rings, and seals. And the bearings and the mounting hardware. And of course the cross brace there, cross pin there. Okay. Those are some pretty monstrous parts for, I mean, this thing is going to be able to withstand a lot of power. So all of that metal is good. bag C, we have the bulkhead. This looks like probably the front bulkhead, since this looks like the front shock tower. Looks like a 4 or 5 millimeter shock tower there. Mounting hardware. There's the shims if you need to shim the diff. And then the output shaft, or pinion gear. Bearing, diff bottom, and these are the upper shock mounts. Bag D. This is going to be the same as bag C, I'm guessing, except for the rear. Just the rear bulkhead, or diff housing. Your mounting hardware, shims, rear shock tower, and then more of the same bearings, upper shock mounts, lower bulkhead mount, and I think there's a pinion in there. There's the pinion and then output shaft. Okay, bag E. We are looking at, these are probably the rear arms because these look like the rear hubs, spacers. Rear arms, some monster plastic pieces there. Droop screw, shock mounts, and a roll bar mount. And then we have hinge pin blocks and hinge pins, turnbuckles. Those are probably 4 or 5 millimeter hinge pins there. Those are big. Some mounting hardware, bearings, hinge pins, outer hinge pins, and then the out drives and rod ends. Oh, it looks like in here as well is the 12 millimeter wheel hexes. Nice universals there, nice and strong. Moving to bag F, probably more of the same. Bag E, but front. Caster blocks, the size and the thickness of those things. And they're marked. There's an R there, and probably an L here, so you can mount them correctly. Don't get them mixed up. They have a bit of kick up in them, as you can see. Make sure you don't mount those backwards. Steering blocks, again, massive parts here. Front arms, shock mount, anti-roll bar mount, droop screw. Kind of beveled here. Nice. Mounting hardware, bearings, outer hinge pins, CV universals, 12 millimeter wheel hexes, rod ends for building the turnbuckles, mounting hardware, and then the inner hinge pins and turnbuckles and arm mounts. Okay, moving to bag G. This looks like steering parts. Is there other? Okay, so this is one half of the steering arm. The other half of the steering arm that attaches to this piece here. Your servo saver mounts together like that. You got your servo saver tube there. Drag link. Adjuster rod for the spring when you put the spring on there. Adjust the servo saver tension. Turnbuckles, rod ends. And of course, servo saver spring in there. And then 2 bags of mounting hardware. Oh, and some bearings there. Those bearings are probably for the steering system. Okay. And finally, in the first round of bags, we have the front. I don't know if this is front or rear. This looks like it could be the front bumper. So front bumper support, front chassis brace. It's kind of molded here for the drive shaft to fit through. Upper steering mount, and this mounts, I don't know how it mounts, probably like that. This is just like a shock tower brace. And then all of the mounting hardware. Mounting hardware there, mounting hardware there. And these are the steering posts and the mounting hardware for that. All hex hardware. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up and then I'm gonna get to the second bag of stuff. 1 second, please. We are back with the second ginormous bag of parts. Get these out of the way here. All right, so I will be our first bag here. And I, looks like, interesting. So the whole looks like right side of the car with the servo. This is the, like the chassis brace, the kind of the side guard. Servo fits there. This is the electronics tray, so it'll probably sit something, depending on how it goes, however the instructions tell you to mount it, but something right there. Mounting hardware, motor mount, and motor mount brace. And they're using this again. They're using this kind of set motor mount pinion system. I'm not sure I like this because you can't fine tune the motor. You can only do 12 through 16 tooth pinions. You could probably fudge it if you want to do a 17 or an 11. But they do sell the standard one that has the slots that slide. I think it either slides this way or it slides in and out. But you can update this to that. But this just makes it easier to, if you're using a 15 tooth pinion, it's like boom, you set it right in there and it's set. So that is a good part, but if you want to go higher or lower, that's the bad part. You can't use this. So, okay, J is going to be probably the other half. Looks like the other half of the mud guard there. I'll put it up here. So there's the other half of the mud guard, side guard, whatever you want to call it. It's the battery tray, the battery strap, and again, this will hold a 2, 3, or 4S battery pack. And your receiver goes in here. Here's the cap. It's not necessarily watertight, so you won't want to submerge this, but for the most part, put it on there, it's going to keep a lot of the dirt and grime out of the receiver. Antenna tube. Metal servo horn. Love it. And some mounting hardware. I think this is probably the drag link here with the 2 rod ends and the long set screw. And then more mounting hardware. Bag K, helps if I cut it where the bag is. Okay, so we have the drive shaft. This is the front to center drive shaft. This could be the rear. Maybe this is the front to rear. I don't know how that's, I don't have to set up. I'll have to look when we get to the manual. Again, the bumper and bumper brace. Center diff cover. Center diff, it's like a secondary cover like that. Shock tower brace. And then your, maybe it goes this way. And then your, do we have it here? Where's the next bag? Oh, right there. No, that's not it either. But the chassis brace goes there. This is a second kind of motor. It sits across from the motor, so the motor sits in between these two things, and this is kind of like the secondary brace thing. I think that mounts, I forgot how this mounts, but it might mount something like that. I remember, but we'll see it in the manual. And then more mounting hardware. Okay, we're gonna just, let's just open it. I wasn't going to open their shock bags, but let's check them out. This Tekno does have some really good shocks. There's all the O-rings and bladders. Or, sorry, just all the O-rings. And you have your pistons, shock shafts. Where's the other one? Oh, it's in there. Okay, and these are the lower shock mounting screw. The other shock mounting screw is right there. So they're two different colors. Tekno has one that tightens clockwise and one that tightens counterclockwise. And depending on which side you put it on, when the arms move up and down, this can slowly back its way out if they're both in the clockwise positioning. So Tekno's giving you a counterclockwise one, so when the arm goes up and down, it doesn't loosen itself up. So that kind of comes from their racing line of parts there. And you have the collar, spring collar adjuster, shock caps, lower cartridge cap, some additional hardware in there, lower shock rod end. These guys here kind of key into this like that. And then your springs, bodies, and boots. I'm not going to open this one because it's the rear shocks. Those are the front shocks, but it's all the same pieces, just a little bit longer. Springs are a little bit longer, bodies are a little bit longer, boots are a little bit longer. Shock shafts are going to be a little bit longer. We don't need to open that to see that. And then finally, sort of finally, bag end. We have, oh, really? Okay, well, first of all, we got mounting hardware, wheel nuts, body clips. These are mock bearings that go in here. This thing comes with a wheelie bar. How cool is that? Your rear, so I can use either of these. This is the short course rear bumper or the MT rear bumper. This MT rear bumper probably hooks up to this somehow for the wheelie bar. Not quite sure until we look at the instructions. Oh, this is a, oh no, these may be, I don't know how this works. These may be body mounts. Looks like body mounts go through there. Looks like these body mounts go through there. So we'll look at that in a minute. And then your massive aluminum chassis. Very nice. All right, I'm going to clean this up before we get to the last part of the unboxing. Okay, and finally, the manual, stickers, whatever else they put in this bag here. Let's take a look. Stickers, MT410 2.0. They got Hulk, more license plates, and then a kind of array of different stickers there. And then the manual, as usual, beautiful full color manual. Again, parts you need, tools you need, additional parts, tools, and then the build. I don't know if the glare is in the way, it'll tilt it here a little bit. Just want to look at a couple things here. So okay, so here's a gearing chart. They give you a gearing chart there. Long drive shaft goes to the front. So there you go on that. And then shock builds, MT wheels and tires. There are the body mounts. Oh, I see how it works. Oh, so if you want to use the wheelies, the wheels for the wheelie bar, they go in that one there. If you guys saw my SCT410 video, these screws go through there, and there's some kind of spacers that fit in there. But there's where the wheels go on that. That's kind of a cool thing. Look at that. I like that. And then the other one is the front bumper. So it's not which one do you use, it's you use both. But I like that. How they integrated that into there. Very nice. And then optional mounting. Oh, the sway bar is not included with this kit. It's true. true, we didn't see it. So if you want to get it for the kit though, there's how to mount it. And then some setup information. And then if you need a setup sheet, here's your setup sheet. Tells you all the diff oils, that kind of stuff there. And then warranty and their address. All right, everything that comes in the Tekno MT410 2.0.
Now, we've never really had a premium basher vehicle before. This MT410 2.0 is going to be that rig. We've got products from Futaba, Hi-Tech, Castle Creations, and J Concepts outfitting this truck, so we're excited to get it built and go have some fun with it. Please stay tuned to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified of future videos in this series. Thanks for watching, we'll see you soon.